My journey started when I was younger, about 14 or 15 years old. My best friend and I, we've always hunted. I grew up hunting. My whole family hunts, been a hunting family. And so I grew up around it. And as far as the dog aspect goes, we always had dogs, but my own pack of hunting dogs came from when I was about 13, 14 years old. My best friend and I, our dads, we all grew up together, and we started hunting, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And man, I stayed hooked, and a lot of people get in and out, but I'm not one of those guys. I'm 38 now, and I've been doing it since then, and I've always had dogs. And the in and out process with a lot of guys is they're just seasonal hunters. I say they're seasonal hunters. There's a lot of people that hunt year round like I do, and I have the luxury to hunt year round. But that's kind of what the dog work and the watching something you've actually made. And I made a lot of mistakes when I was younger. I thought I had a one-track mind, and the more I did it, the more different, and my eyes opened up to different kinds of ways and stuff like that. And I dealt with a lot of old timers and try to learn as much from them as I did from anything else. And that's kind of what benefited me. I mean, I think your dogs are only going to be as good as the dogs you hunt them with. So if you got trash, your other dog's going to grow up being trash. If you take pride in what you're doing and do it the right way and put them on as many hogs as they can and select your process right, then you'll be successful. And a lot of people don't understand that. They just they want what everybody else has, and they're not willing to work for it. Mm-hmm. And I've never had to buy any dogs as far as cur dogs go. Never had to purchase anything. I've always raised around in-house. Me and my best friend and I, we've had the luxury we have a line of dogs that we kind of keep breeding, and then we might outcross here and there, but it's mainly line bred, and they work for us, and that's kind of what I stuck with throughout all these years. There'll be some little elements here and there as far as maybe something better, but if I breed something, it's gonna be best to the best, and I think that's why I have good luck with them, and all the puppies work, and you got a cold hard too, just like anything else. Mm-hmm. And you're not gonna get a full, as anything, cur dogs, game dogs. You're not gonna get everything coming out just blasting and working like you want them to. You're gonna have the ones that take longer. You're gonna have the ones that need a little patience. You're gonna have the ones that might not work at all. You just have to deal with it when you can in stride, mm-hmm. and hope for the best. Because I mean, I'm patient enough now. I used to not be, but I'm strict now, and I see things a little different because even my wife helps me tremendously as far as raising pups and putting that handle on them before I take over and take them to the kennel, and they got to get that certain age, and everything's raised at the house. My little girl Jack with them all the time, and if she can't mess with them, then I don't want them. You know, I'm picky, and she'll tell you I'm picky, and I think that, I mean, you got to be to have good dogs or whatever. And I'm a little more pickier on my cur dogs than I am my bulldogs, but I just haven't been doing this for a few years. I've been doing it for a little while, so I kind of know what I want already as far as when they get that age, when they start working as they're young pups, 3, 4, 5 months old, introduce them to pigs, introduce them to still letting them be puppies at the same time. I always try to keep that in mind. I want them to grow up still being pups. And but they learn a lot of stuff whenever they learn how to use their nose, they learn how to travel, learn how to move around. I like watching them, the way they get around and the way they act when you turn them loose, and just a bunch of different stuff that all those variables kind of go into my selection as far as when I have a line breeding in house. And I might breed once a year. I might breed cur dog once every other year. I don't know, just depending on what I'm needing at the time. But I think I breed one certain gyp, and this was her last breeding this past year. And I kept all the females out of that litter. And they're versatile dogs. I mean, it's all from a working hog, cow dog background as far as she is, and the rest of mine are. But they're just so versatile. I sent one up the country, placed one. I don't sell none of those. Like I said, I usually, if a buddy of mine that I hunt with, I just place them either in my circle or I keep them. And one's up north being a blood dog right now. I mean, it's just, they can do whatever. Yeah. They're smart and they're loyal, and that's kind of why I keep doing it on that line. So just adding another little maybe outcross here and there, but it's going to be the best, you know. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I go about my cur dogs. Like I said, no one really has any of them unless I place them somewhere. But good buddies or guys I hunt with. Mm-hmm. But usually they'll stay here until I figure out their quirks, and then they might be suitable for one of my buddies more than me. Or, I mean, it just depends on what I see in them. Mm-hmm. And like I said, my wife and little one will have their favorites, of course. But at the end of the day, it's still what is he or she gonna do? You know, what they do better, and if they are better, and they'll stick around a little bit. Mm-hmm. But you can't it don't happen overnight. You just, like I said, you got a lot of patience. Mm-hmm. I learned to take that in stride because, like I said, I don't have much, but you got to nowadays.
Right.
My cur dogs, it's pretty much a, like I said, a line that one of my best friends' dad and grandpa started over 40 years ago. They're regular cur dogs, but they're red. And I know they got a tick of leopard in them down the line, but they're mainly blackmouth curs. Mm-hmm. But they bred out all the quirks, and like he said, he called hard for years before I was even born. And they kept around the best that they used every day. They used them every day as far as work and hunting. And we got lucky as far as starting our line off of that program, and that's kind of what we kept and still do to this day. And as far as my bulldogs, my game dogs, I run all old school stuff. I have a lot of old school Jeep Rascal, Red Boy Jocko, Chinaman, Blood, and some old school Eli stuff. I like all the old school stuff. I'm not real big on new stuff people kind of concoct together because it's usually not proven. Mm-hmm. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And my game dog breeding program it's pretty tight bred. It is best to the best, but it is family oriented. So I have my old school Jeep Chinamen that I usually breed together just to them. I might outcross a good male that I use for a catch duck, I might outcross him with one of another good bred female. But other than that, I kind of try to keep the families pretty bred together and kind of keep the tightness going. And people can do what they want to do after that. But I pick and choose who I sell those to also. I mean, some of them do get sold, but I pick and choose on where those go for dang sure. Because, wrong hands, people really, everybody wants a game dog until they got one. Right. Then they don't know what they got, or it might be too much for them, or they don't know how to handle them. And there's all that good. There's a bunch of different stuff that people kind of can get in a bind with, and like I said, all of these dogs got a bad rap anyway, as far as for the wrong reasons. And there's not a dog on my place in my yard that my little girl can't touch or walk up to. I just I won't have that. They're not raised like that. They're raised around family, and we jack with them every day. And it's a lot of work, but at the same time, it's rewarding too. I mean, you got some of the best dogs around, that are good, and I don't jeopardize that. I don't take it for granted one bit either, because there's just so much crap. Something can happen, 1 minute, 1 yard accident, one sickness. It could be anything. But yeah, I try to keep everything normal as far as my bloods go. A lot of old school stuff that, like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it's been working for me for years, and I got a lot of them that I use for hog dogs, and there's some that I use just for females, just for breeding. Typically the females are a little smaller than males all the time, so some of them get used and some of them don't. Some of them just hang around for breeding purposes and all that stuff, but they still get proven. They still get put on, tested on pigs, and the rest of the good stuff that you got to do. I don't run any kind of outside from different people. I deal with certain guys that I've been dealing with, and they're good guys, and it's kind of a no bullshit policy, and that's kind of what we stick to. With those guys are a little different, and they respect the game, and so do I. So we kind of got a good relationship, and we do some swapping and trading and different kinds of dogs that might work here. If they want to get one proven what I do, I do like that, because it makes me feel good, because I do use my dogs, and I'm pretty much one of the ones that can actually say I can come down here and bump them and get them going on pigs, and they like that, because it's something versatile for their program also. Instead of just having the certain game program that they got, I mean, I have pretty much the best of both worlds. I get to hunt every week, and I get to get them shown, and let people see that stuff, and they ask me a bunch of questions: where, who, what, why, how, and all that. And that's kind of what I like to show them that. I mean, because it's pretty cool whenever you see that big head son of a gun smashing on a pig. That's kind of like, man, look, and they're different too. There's some of them big time different. Some of them, I mean, the mouth, the temperament, the gameness, the way they act. Like I said, every one of them, I don't care. Every one of them has a quirk, and you got to kind of learn as you go, actually, with them, and that's kind of why I like to raise them all. You'll know pretty quick, especially as much as I do it, or as much as they get to go. And once they're put in the rotation, they get used, and they you can tell really what they're made of. And a lot of people like to see that, because, like I said, there's a lot of people that don't get to go as much, and I'm fortunate enough to have some decent places and some big places to go year round. So a lot of hogs. So where I'm from.
Do you ever mix your curs and your bulldogs?
I don't.
Yeah.
Simple fact is that if I do that, guaranteed they'll be too rough. And a lot of people like that. A lot of people like them during grain season, which means when the grain's up, when they're hunting grain, they like those crossbreds or half breeds just to run in there and catch or something. Because at the end of grain season, everybody knows that them hogs will get smart, especially when they're hunted a lot and they'll want to just run. And those dogs tend to put a lot more mouth on them. Mm-hmm. And it's good for some people, but some people like it, some people don't. And I might entertain the thought one time or twice. My buddy, we talk about it just because if we had one that would run, just to joke around, pretty much.
Right.
Wasn't nothing that I had planned now or in the future, unless somebody really, really was asking. But still, if I'm going to breed one, it's going to be for a purpose, and they're going to be for using dogs. So it's going to be for my purpose also. So I haven't got to that point yet. I like the curs that I breed and raised it, and they put enough mouth on them for me anyway. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I stick to. The cur dogs, they're mine are bred to hunt, find hogs, find cattle, find deer, whichever someone would want to use them for. That's what they're bred for. Mm-hmm. And smart as a whip. And I like those because the difference in the dogs that I breed is it's just pretty much the go, the drive. I can't stand a dog just to hang around and kind of hang out and not at least try to do something, you know. I like a cur dog that goes and gets away, gets out of my face, gets out from under my feet. I like one that stays ahead. That's just kind of what it's different. Whenever I don't hunt with a lot of people, so I don't know what a lot of people have. I know what I have and what maybe one or two of my buddies have. That's it. Mm-hmm. And so, as far as me judging somebody, they might have some that stay in tight, that only hunts right in the headlights, and then next thing you know, they're gone, and they're solid strike dogs. It's just, but if I'm going to have one, I want one where I can road hunt or cast or go off the hood, versatile dog. That's what I breed. There's not one here at my house, on my yard, that can't do all that. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I look for as far as. And puppies are not going to do it right off the bat. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of hogs. I mean, the cur dogs, they can't learn nothing at the house. Is what I say. You got to take them, and you got to keep them in hogs. A lot of people hunt a lot. There's a lot of guys that I see on social media that might hunt more than I do. I mean, I think I hunt a lot. My wife doesn't have time to hunt too much. But there's reasons for the madness is because, I mean, if I got young dogs, I'm going to put them on as many hogs as I can. My best friend is the same way. We were anal. We actually had to talk about it last night. We're anal about is like we're comparing. You can right now. We had this. You cannot compare the 1.5-year-old dogs we have right now to anybody else's 1.5-year-old dogs. Mm-hmm. How many hogs are under their belt, what they're doing, how they're doing, the drive, the go, the stay, just pretty much, you know, they're doing really good, and we're thinking, you know, wanting to try to repeat the same thing as far as the breeding goes. So, I mean, I like it. And then as far as my bulldogs go, they're really really, really nice as far as their temperament. I like them because I can take them anywhere. I can take them anywhere. I can put them in with other dogs. I mean, I ain't got to worry about them. If they're fighting or something, or if they're booger barking at each other from another box, I mean, it's something's going. It might have a female to do with it or something like that. But they're not gonna. I can keep them together in the dog box. I can hum together. They're not gonna fight each other. They're not. Like I said, they weren't raised like that. I don't never give them a chance to. So I've had, knock on wood, very good luck with them. A lot of people say different things, but I kind of know what I can and can't do with them. I got one I would put in with another dog as far as after catching a hog, because he kind of stays pretty wound up for a little while after that. Mm-hmm. And his drive is like pretty much, it's like no other. It stays peaked for a while. So you got to kind of watch what you do as far as handling him, putting him in a situation where he might possibly get after something else. Or you got to kind of just know what, when, and where to do all that. Mm-hmm. And the difference in mine, I mean, like I said, it is they get used. They know the routine. It might take a trip or two. It might take a hog or two. But once you keep them steady and get them placed on how you want them on the head, man, sky's the limit. Just depends on it. They're only gonna get better. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much what I breed them for. And there's a lot of guys that and it's crappy to say this, but it's true. There's a lot of people I won't sell to. There's a lot of people that, I'm not saying that they're bad dog men or whatever, or bad hunters or whatever. It's just that I don't think that dog would be in the right situation with say a person. Mm-hmm. If I was to tell them, man, no, I'm sorry, I don't have anything for sale or whatever, and that might not be the reason, but I dang sure don't want to get the dog a bad name, or a kennel a bad name either, especially if someone doesn't know how to handle a dog. So, right. I've got some up the country in Colorado, being a personal protected, working with that. There's quite a few of them went to hog hunters, but one actually was pretty cool. He's up there in Colorado, north of Denver. That he sends me pics and videos of him, updates on him, and they're smart, they're sharp. They're not your average bulldog, that's for sure. And he's got them. It's easy to do one-on-one if you have, one or two dogs. Sometimes I wish I had just one or two dogs. I could give a little more attention to them, but he's doing a really good job with them. And as far as personal protection, that little guy's mouth goes, the pups are about 5-6 months old right now, and the one we have here, he's already potty trained. He's housebroke. I mean, my little girl loves him. I can't even leave him outside. She wants him in. She wants to play with him, but that's how we raise them first. If we're going to use them and keep them around, that's how they go through the process. And that's the difference. That's the temperament and the attitude. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dogs are different. Some dogs are different, but it's only when they get older. If you put them in a certain situation, you don't do it like that when they're puppies. I let them be puppies for a while, and it tends to work out a little better for me. My selection process, like I said, on the cur dogs, that's pretty strenuous, and the longevity of it is a while. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I breed a certain jip a year, maybe every other year, and usually I keep most of the litter, and they the other ones get placed to either one of my good friends or Another one of my buddies, just to a hunting home, and I don't ever sell them. I don't make any money off my curs. That takes a while. I'm really picky on that, and like I said, I want something. My old lady says I'm too picky, but that's just kind of what you gotta do. I like them. I like the ones that aren't worried about anything else but working. And it's hard to explain if you don't see it. A lot of guys might know, and ladies might know what I'm talking about. But all they want to do is work. All they want to do is get into something. All they want to do is be where the action's at. That's what I like. Also, that's what I look for. I like one that's kind of outgoing, barks at every dang thing in the yard. Horses come up, cows come up. I like them. I'm gonna let them. I'll do the cleaning up and tuning when they start going to the woods. But I like that. I want them baying on being puppies, having fun, baying on everything. Let them do it for a little bit. And the ones that start a little slower might be your better dogs. Actually, the ones that start a little faster might be the ones that burn out real quick. And what I mean by burning out is you're starting off really heavy, really fast, really good right off the bat, and then just kind of go cold. And then them dogs that coming on later sometimes tend to pass them up as far as longevity use, and tend to have a lot more bottom to them. From what I've seen, and it might be different in other people's cases, but I've noticed, and I've raised different, both kinds, and just like I said, some of them are just better than others. That's it, but still work. I mean, it's what I like, and a lot of them some of them go to cows, some of them stay on hogs, but the picking process on the cur dogs is long. Bulldogs, people tend to say, oh, they're either going to work or they're not. One of the two. You always hear that from different guys that don't know. Pretty much, they're just kind of stuck in their way. But man, it's another process that you like too, because bulldogs they're going to be finished growing, peaked out. It takes 2 years, for a game dog to really get all his stuff out. And we had one that didn't start working till late, and he's still coming on good, and he's almost 2 now. I mean, and the rest of these guys over here, they're 4 or 5 month old pups already smashing on little hogs and stuff like that. It just depends on how and what they want to do. I mean, you can't change the game. All you can do is just sharpen it. And either they got it or they don't. And game dogs, there's a lot of them that have more than others. But my selection process on males is totally different than females. It's I like a female cur dog. I like a male catch dog if I was to have a choice. And as far as what I'm using, as far as what's in my box, as far as what I'm going to use on the hog, that's what I want to use. And that's pretty much what I like doing. And they'll show you what they want to do and what they're capable of. I always keep hogs here to test them on, and just they have once they're ready, they'll let you know. I don't force anything on any of them. They let me know when they're ready, and then we'll start working on it. They won't start working on it. Say, show me that. We'll start working on it. But they all get an opportunity, and they all, like I said, some of them better than others. Some of them start off earlier than others. The key is not to get discouraged on something that's working faster than another one, because, like you said, the ones that's coming on later are liable to be a better dog. It just depends. You never know. But game dogs you got to choose that selection later. And I think, in my opinion, a lot of guys use the bulldogs a lot younger than what they should. But as far as teeth and mouth getting set all the way, and they wonder why they got broken canines and no teeth, and then the next thing you know, they're selling them. They can't use them no more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I avoid. Once I have something here, I don't really get rid of it, especially if I'm using it. And like I said, the only thing that leaves here might be puppies. But once they're here, and once I've messed with them, and once I've worked with them and spent some time with them, and I'm using them, and they're in the rotation, they're usually not leaving.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like. But it takes a while. It sure does.
Right.
The cur dogs is said pretty right here in house. I have a bay pen, mm-hmm. and I keep hogs. I keep hogs year round, and that's the same thing as, like I said, the bulldog. They let you know when they're ready. I don't force anything. I got some little dogs that my wife's house dogs, and little crazy Jack Russells. They ain't scared of anything. they're the lion killers around here, and I use them. They go over there and yap at them, and they'll start them puppies sometimes. And sometimes that's all you need is just something else, a little helpful, little trigger to trigger them. And once they start, you just pull the other ones away and let them start doing it on their own. And once they start, I usually try to do it. I let them out every day or every other day on my days off. Every day, but if I'm working, it might be one time in the evening, or on every other day. I let them go bay around that pen. It just keep their mind fresh and keep it on the hog. Once they get to that age of where I start hauling them, I don't put them on the ground right away, because that's usually a train wreck, because I hunt around a bunch of cows and a bunch of deer and a bunch of exotics, and it's never good. And so I usually turn them to the bays a few times, just to kind of put them on hogs in the woods, something different. We're not at the house. We're out of their comfort zone, and see how they take it. And you'll pretty much tell, and they'll let you know. And after that, once they get of where you think that you're handling it, there's a lot of places where I go that don't have any cows, and I'll put them down, let them run, and let them run with the older dogs. And I got a bunch of tattletale dogs. If something's messing up, which it's usually not the case, or if that puppy's messing up, if them older dogs come back to me, then something's going on. So there's the luxury of having that. And then all the technology nowadays, the systems, they all got toners, shockers, everything on them. You know, you can pretty much. Ashes, we will rise. Taking revenge on those with spies. On the rough flags, and keep on fighting. We can see a phoenix rise.